Here is an image of Akhenaten. Inside the image of Akhenaten, you'll see there's an alien. The image of the Queen Nefertiti, when turned upside down, becomes an image of a dead sheep. This will become significant later in this video. The word Akhenaten means worshippers of the sun. This again will become significant later in this video. The logo for Barack Hussein Obama and his presidency is the rising sun over the stripes of the American flag. It's symbolic of the sun rising over the west, or the sun rising from the place of its setting. This is also referred to in the Quran. The coming of the Mahdi will be when the sun rises from the place of its setting. Now I would like for you to listen to this video by the P.P. Simmons Group, and we'll put the pieces together for you shortly after we run the video from Mr. Simmons.
In a heavily resourced and documented article at AmericanThinker.com titled Barack Hussein Sobarka by Jason Kistner, we find some amazing discoveries regarding the identity problem of Barack Hussein Obama. Jason Kistner is an associate professor of criminology at California State University, Fresno. Following is an edited synopsis of that article with an absolutely surprising find by the P.P. Simmons staff at the end of this video. One of the unexplained mysteries in the all-but-missing documentation of the early life of Barack Obama is the appearance of the name Sobarka as his last name on an official document filled out by his mother. We are in possession of Stanley Ann Dunham Sotoro's 1968 application to extend her 1965 passport for an additional 2 years. Her passport, by the way, is now reportedly destroyed. On the second page of the application, Ann Dunham attempted to exclude her son Barack Obama, or Sobarka, from her passport, but the item has been crossed out, perhaps on the advice of the consulate in Jakarta, as this would have left 7-year-old little Barry passportless, so the exclusion did not happen. The appendage Sobarka seems to indicate a name change or a change in citizenship status for the boy. But there is a very good and surprisingly simple explanation for the seemingly random appearance of the name Sobarka on Obama's mother's passport application. Believe it or not, the reason appears to be linked to Loretta Fuddy. That's right. The same Loretta Fuddy, the Hawaii State Health Director who approved the release of Obama's long-form birth certificate and who recently and mysteriously died in a plane crash off the coast of Molokai. Obama's mother and Loretta Fuddy have one very strange factor in common. Both have been directly linked to the Subud cult, which originated in, of all places, Indonesia, and was founded by the Javanese Muslim Muhammad Sabu. The small cult appears to have around 20,000 members worldwide. Fuddy's cult member name was Diliana. Her official position was regional helper. Note also that the World Subud organization seems to have been based in, of all cities, Chicago. Wow, think about it. Indonesia, Chicago, Hawaii, 3 locales linked directly and very importantly to Obama's life. We also know from a Hawaii Advertiser article that Subud was introduced to Hawaii in the 1960s. Obama's mother was directly linked to Subud by her biographer and New York Times reporter Janie Scott in the book A Singular Woman, The Untold Story of Barack Obama's Mother. This book was reviewed by the New York Times, so this is a heavily documented fact. Loretta Fuddy worked her way up the ranks and became chairwoman of Subud USA, based in Seattle, from 2006 to 2008. But note that of all the persons that could have been installed as director of the State Department of Health in Hawaii, Hawaii chose Fuddy, a leader of a small cult with roots in Indonesia and connections to Barack Obama's mother. Secondly, remember that Fuddy assumed the directorship position in Hawaii in January 2011 after being appointed by Hawaii's governor just a few months before the release of Obama's long-form birth certificate. Changing one's name for spiritual reasons was something frequently done by followers of the cult Subud, and Stanley Ann Sotoro was in fact closely associated with Subud. We know that. It is reasonable then to suppose that Sobarka, the name chosen for Obama on that passport, arose in the same way new names for others, like Diliana Loretta Fuddy did. But remember that the name Sobarka appears in the passport renewal section labeled Amend to Include or Exclude Children. The name Barack Hussein Obama Sobarku is crossed out. This signifies that Obama's mother had apparently decided to exclude Barack from her passport renewal. Apparently, Stanley Ann Dunham Sotoro changed her mind about the exclusion. Perhaps this was done after having been informed by the consulate there that doing so would leave Barack without a passport. But there is another possibility, one just as valid and even simpler. What if Obama's mother was trying to include Obama in the renewal, but she wasn't able to produce a birth certificate, and the Subud name Sobarka simply did not suffice legally? That could explain why the name Sobarka appears nowhere else in any of Obama's documentation of which we are currently aware. But now for the real shocker in this entire matter. The staff at P.P. Simmons did some research and found an old picture of the founder of the cult of Subud, one Mohammed Sabu Sumohadi Wijojo. Do you see anything odd here? Think about it. Fuddy, Obama's mother Dunham, Subud, Hawaii, Chicago, Indonesia, no birth certificate, Sobarka on the passport, a dead Hawaii Department of Health director, the one who conveniently certified Obama's forged and fabricated long-form birth certificate. Are all of these simply odd coincidences, or is there something more here? I have a feeling we will soon know the truth.
Fact number 1. Subud is the name of its founder, Mohammed Sabu. He was given that name as a new name from an unknown passerby during a near-death childhood experience. Here is an excerpt. Fact number 2. The Mahdi must come from the line of Muhammad. This also fits with the Bedouin tribe correlation as well. Fact number 3. The name Sabu means sunrise or dawn. Fact number 4. The coming of the Mahdi, or Antichrist, will be preceded by the sun rising from the place of its setting, which is the west. Barack Obama's campaign logo is the sun rising over the west. Fact number 5. The cult of Subud, or rising sun, originated in Indonesia. Barack and his mother lived in Indonesia, and Barack was raised in Indonesia. Fact number 6. Loretta Fuddy is also a member of the Rising Sun cult, Subud. Remember that Obama's logo is a rising sun, and the name Sabu means rising sun. Fact number 7. Stanley Ann Dunham Sotero is Barack Obama's mother. She also raised Barack Obama in Indonesia, the same as the origin of the Rising Sun cult called Sabu. Oddly enough, the founder of Sabu, or Rising Sun, looks identical to Barack Obama, who also has a logo that is a rising sun. Fact number 8. Loretta Fuddy, a member of the Rising Sun cult, Subud, is an acquaintance of Barack Obama's mother, who is also a member of the same cult from Indonesia. Fact number 9. Loretta Fuddy was recently mysteriously killed in a plane crash. And oddly enough, she was the one person of 7 billion people on planet Earth who was also a member of the Rising Sun cult that happened to be the one link to Barack Obama, whose logo is a rising sun, and his birth certificate. Truly, dead men or women tell no tales. Now let us consider some more information. Akhenaten, who was a pharaoh in ancient Egypt, also is associated with Imhotep the mummy. Akhenaten means worshippers of the sun. Here is a hieroglyph of Akhenaten, which shows an image of an alien inside Akhenaten himself. In the Bible, the devil is called the serpent or the dragon. Here is an image of Akhenaten in another hieroglyph, which shows a dragon coming out of the sun. Once again, the sun is involved. Revelation 12:9 in the Bible states, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world." Therefore we know that the dragon is Satan. The Bible says that Satan turns things around and backwards and upside down. In Isaiah 29:16, let us consider those words. Here are images from the Bible, different versions that you may read for yourself. Now let us look at the 2008 inauguration of Barack Obama, whose mother's cult leader was also known as Bapak, B-A-P-A-K, almost identical to the name Barack. The leader of the cult, who was given his name under very mysterious circumstances, his name is Mohammed Sabu. The word Mohammed means to praise, and the word Sabu means the rising sun. So the words together mean to praise the rising sun. Here is a clip that shows Barack Obama giving his acceptance speech, standing on a stage that is a replica he had built of the seat of Satan, which is at the Berlin Museum. As he gives his speech, he encourages the crowd to repeat after him, "Yes, we can. Yes, we can." Remember that Satan turns things backwards and upside down. If you listen to the words "yes, we can" backwards, it simply plays, "Thank you, Satan. Thank you, Satan." So he is standing on a stage, and they are praising Satan, saying it backwards, just as the Bible says.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Heck you say. Heck you say. Heck you say. Heck you say.
So Barack Obama, which means lightning from heaven, from Luke 10:18, in which Jesus said, "I beheld Satan falling as lightning from heaven," Barack Obama is standing on a stage that is a replica of the seat of Satan. He is having the crowd chant, "Yes, we can," which backwards is "Thank you, Satan." And his logo is the rising sun. And the leader of the cult that his mother is from means to praise the rising sun. The only connection to Barack Obama and his birth certificate, Loretta Fuddy was mysteriously killed in a plane crash, and out of 7 billion people on planet Earth, she is the one connection between Barack Obama and his birth certificate, and they are from the same cult, the Rising Sun. The coming of the Mahdi, the Antichrist, will be preceded by the sun rising over the west. Let us consider everything you're looking at and consider it well before we move on to the conclusion.
My name is Barack Obama. My mother was born in Kansas. My father was born in Kenya. And I was born, of course, in Hawaii.
Remember that Satan turns things upside down and backwards. Let us look at 9/11. It is an established fact that 9/11 and the bombing of the Twin Towers was done with the knowledge of our own government, as well as the image of the bombing being printed on U.S. currency. It is a fact that Barack Obama signed an 11,000-pound steel beam at the top of the One World Freedom Center, which replaced the Twin Towers. The beam read, "We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger." It is a fact that the letters WWW from we in Hebrew are va va va, which is the equivalent of 666. Therefore, when Barack Obama signed the top of the One World Freedom Tower, he signed the numbers 666 in Hebrew. It is a fact that Revelation 9:11 states, quote, "And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in Greek tongue has the name Apollyon." It is also a fact that Eos, E-O-S, means morning star or goddess. It is also an established fact that Eo, the root of Eos, means Abaddon or Apollyon. It is a fact that the name Barack Hussein Sobarka appears on his mother's 1968 passport extension from Indonesia. Remember, Satan turns things backwards and upside down. Let us look at Sobarka broken down backwards. The root of Hakrab is Akra, which means weakness of will, acting in a way that is contrary to one's sincerely held moral values. This is what happens when a person falls into a sinful state. They act in a way that is contrary to their sincerely held moral values. Remember, Eos means goddess or morning star. Eo, the root, means Abaddon or Apollyon. The root of Sobarka backward is a sinful state. The entirety of the word is a sinful state, Abaddon. Here is an image of the Denver Broncos Stadium as they worship their king, Abaddon, the rider on the white horse.
The name Obama took from his Indonesian stepfather, Lolo Sotoro. That class register says Obama came from Honolulu and lists his date of birth. But look at his nationality. It's listed as Indonesian and his religion as Islam.
What I was suggesting, you are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not
Christian
my Christian faith.
And they did it because they know their king. Who's their king? Who's their king? The angel of the bottomless pit, whose name is Abaddon, Apollyon. Mystery solved, folks. It's over.
My mother was born in Kansas. My father was born in Kenya. And I was born, of course, in Hawaii. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. will be exalted in the earth.